Another real possibility in this way of looking at survivorship, again, more the mindful layer of it, is self-discovery. I love this quote by Mary Oliver. "Someone once gave me a box of darkness. It took years to understand that this, too, was a gift." Someone once gave me a box of darkness. It took years to understand that this, too, was a gift. Mary Oliver. Who am I now? This goes into the issues of identity. Who am I now that I've gone through this, or I continue to go through this? Again, this is often later in your survivorship, once you've sort of settled back into more of a sense of life, doing things, back in not an active treatment, or again, you may be someone who it will continue in treatment. But you start to realize that you can feel a bit lost, and often people feel a bit lost. It's not unusual to feel lost, confused, and not know who you are. There are new ways of being that you can discover. There are ways of seeing things, of what's important to you. They can show up once you have a bit of distance from diagnosis and treatment. I really like the question, what matters to you? And that's a question you can ask yourself over and over and over again. And you don't know. Let yourself be surprised at what might come up, because what matters to you now may not have been what mattered to you a year ago, 10 years ago, even yesterday. That's a really good tool, a really good question to help you work with your own self-discovery of who you are. You can look at the authentic choices in your life. You know, being in survivorship can bring up these themes of, what have I chosen? Does this really work for me now? And if you allow yourself to reflect on that, you may discover that you may need to make some changes as best you can. Sometimes it's not always possible, but you can still make changes even if it's not like a huge change. You can still make daily changes that have you feel more like yourself and like you're discovering who you are and your own identity. And this I'll also put, so that you can see it, but there's one way, a great exercise to do, and you can do it over and over again, is to take a moment. You tune into yourself, you unplug from all the busyness, all the thoughts, all the shoulds, everything you're supposed to do, the laundry, the this, the that, the bills, and you take a moment and write down and consider these questions. Who am I? What is the life I have created? What is the life I want to create now? What does it mean to be fully alive? How do I understand and interact with the world around me? These are not questions with fill-in-the-blank answers. These are questions for reflection and consideration. Who am I? What is the life I have created? What is the life I want to create now? What does it mean to be fully alive? How do I understand and interact with the world around me? I find that the practice of gratitude is one of the most centering and grounding and fulfilling practices in healing and recovering from, as Tedeschi and Calhoun said, from major life struggles. Gratitude is about letting go. Gratitude is about moving forward. It's a wonderful antidote for fear and anxiety because it brings us into the present moment. Gratitude doesn't have to be enormous. I find that sometimes the simplest things fill me with gratitude. The way the light looks on a flower, the way my cat might stretch. Daily, everyday occurrences that may go unnoticed until we just find the time to plug into our own feelings of gratitude for what is present. So sit quietly right now. Ask yourself, what am I grateful for right in this moment? And just see if you can trust what comes to you. What am I grateful for right in this moment? I notice for myself that I feel very grateful to UCSF for having me here, to all of you for being here, and I feel so grateful for being able to do the work I do and to be able to be with people who so move me and so trust me by bringing themselves and their worlds into my world. And I'm so deeply grateful for that.